So yeah, let me share. So can you let me know, Surya, why do we use or go for cloud computing? So, yeah, what is cloud computing actually? What is cloud computing?
Host any application.
Sorry?
Host any application, we need servers.
Yeah. So it is a interface uh, to launch it is an interface to launch or use set of resources which are being provided by vendor. Okay, you can use any of the things, okay, whatever they give. Like actually what happens is a cloud computing, like we do have vendors like Azure or AWS or GCP. What these people do is generally they launch the servers or they host some of the services. Initially they had started with some services like S3 and many other things. As of now there were around 240 plus services. Okay, roughly I guess, or 240 around. AWS has, and Azure has around 3,500 plus services. Okay, so what we do is we pay the things and we use it directly. Okay, we pay. We know we need not to buy or maintain any of the things. Instead, we give the responsibility for them. Okay, that is nothing but cloud making of the resources. Computing is nothing but making use of the resources with respect to CPU, RAM, ROM, and all of your hard disk. Okay, compute resources of, or like it can be CPU or anything. So it like what are all the basic things whenever you are not going for cloud computing, when you want to host any of the application, when you want any Flipkart or Amazon in order to host any of your things, first thing to make config. Okay, be on mute. You are not talking. Yeah. So if you are not speaking, kindly be on mute. So what I am trying to tell, uh, first thing is this cloud computing is something vendor will be there. It is an interface to make use of all of your resources. Without cloud computing, what you need to do is, in order to host any of your application, it can be of like any domain like Flipkart or anything that e-commerce or insurance. First thing, you need to have data center where you will be having all of these things. Okay, where you need to buy the servers on a virtual on your physical things, like from different things, and then you need to have all of your installations. And on top of that, for this data center you need to have power backup. Okay, and for like you need to have ACs. Okay, it can be again configurations of that ACs depending upon your things. Okay, these were all maintenance activities. One time servers will not be running or giving response even if the load is very low. If the servers are getting heated, the response will not be coming. Okay, 1 ton or 2 ton, or it depends. And finally you will have like lot many things like DNS register. Okay, so there you have like services like DNS or Route 53 and load balancers, where you need to manage your load balancers. Okay, load balancer, what does it do is it distribute all of your traffic to various servers. So for example, this is your load balancer. Load balancer is something, a particular server which is configured with respect to different servers in on-prem. Okay, this particular load balancer, what does it do is it distributes the traffic to various servers. Okay, what I mean is it distributes the traffic to various servers and it tries to get the response. I mean, it tries to deliver the thing. So this is server one or something. This particular is nothing but load balancing. Generally, people will be giving for hits for multiple things. You can't tell your IP. Generally, people ultimately a server which is giving a response, which is nothing but a IP will be there for that server. Okay, this IP one server one IP. Okay, this server will not be giving only like this particular server. You can't give this IP, hit this, you'll be getting the response. Hit my IP of 192 or something like that. You can't tell. Lot many servers, thousands of servers you will be making in the backend, and you'll be configuring with common endpoint. And that point, common endpoint, will try to call it as load balance. Load balancer is used to distribute the traffic and it is a common point to address the request. And this load balancer, you will be getting ELB, AWS dot ELB, something in AWS generally. Okay. And this load balancer, you will be configuring with your domain name. You are understanding, right? Okay, so this particular things you need to take responsibility. This load balancers, all of the things I'm telling. Okay, then ISP. Okay, internet or internet kind of internet service provider. Internet should be stable. Okay, this you need to take care. Like broadband, like if wherever you go, request will be, it should be stable in all of your things. You need to configure all of your servers. One developer will should not get more speed and some other thing. So by default, like these all things you need to configure for all of your servers. Every server you need to configure stability, I mean stability of net, you can say, or many other, and racks you will have. Okay, what does racks indicate? Where you will try to keep the servers on top of your racks. So this can be standalone or wall mounted. Servers will be kept in these two fashion. It will be kept by on rough node standalone server, you can see. Okay, wall mounted servers. I mean to say you need to keep the servers on a segregated way and you need to have all of your things. Okay, wall mounted is something, okay, like this, like you will like these kind of things, uh, you'll try to keep. See, this person is keeping, right? This is all with, it's not one or two or something. We'll try to load hundreds of servers, okay, together. See, these kind of things what I'm talking, you are responsible to keep this kind of thing standalone, or we'll try to use this kind of thing. Okay, we'll try to buy blade servers which occupies very minimal amount of space. Okay, okay, like, and we need to maintain networking as well. I mean, routers or both the things are same, networking and routers, I mean both the things. And then you need to buy some of the switches. Okay, it can be of L1. I mean, those who worked on on-prem will know, like, or else you no need to remember all of this thing, but I'm telling. So L1, L2, L3 switches will be there where you will try to connect to your routers in order to get. Okay, and what is the configuration of this particular switches, of how much of bandwidth that it can transfer, all of the things of routers or switches, you can see where you need to buy the switches as well. Okay, switches in networking. This switch will transfer. You need to set it up. I mean to say this Cisco switches, or and next is something firewall. You will have physical manpower. Okay, I mean you need to check all of the things physically, all the servers are getting run or not, it is getting pulled or not, or if any like rat is going inside and capturing or cutting any wire. Okay, so all these things, physical manpower is needed to check all of the server day to day maintenance activity. We'll try to, and firewall that you need to set it up, hardware firewalls for all of your to prevent all of your DDoS attacks. And apart from this, you'll try to have WAF, web application firewall. This is also kind of a firewall where you will try to use in real time. Okay, so these are these kind of all the things, and government license, which is very important. Before keeping the things of data center, you need to take the approval from the government. Yeah, my particular company is generating is about, you need to show the reports from environmental committee, you need to get the reports, my heat is getting generated of so and so, and power I'm trying to consume this words. Okay, and you need to tell the reports as well. Yeah, I'm using solar power, I'm using electricity itself. So all these things, and once you get the government approval, then only you can keep the data center. So, and still lot many things will be there, will be coming, the things in data, like where you can have servers, which is very, first one is server. Yeah. And all of these things will be coming into the play, like you can have space, have a written space I have not written, right? I mean rented space, what I mean to say. And space is required, right? Which consumes at least like 2 or 3 rooms, even if it is very small startup. So even after this, doing all of this, once your business is suddenly drastically changing, number of users are getting, we'll try to call it as TPS. Okay. Try to remember this word. This is nothing but transaction. Yeah, transactions per second or hits per second you can have. Okay, trans like whatever, like hits per second or something, I mean to say how many users are using these particular things. All of these things you need to understand. And if some, on a sudden note, if your particular traffic is getting increased, then you need to, you have estimated something at 10K users will be coming and using your application, and at times like from 4 to 5, you thought 4 to 5, like it will be 5K, and after 6, something early, 12 a.m, it will be of something 3K. On an average, you had designed your application so that it will give response to everyone. A decent servers you had kept, but on a sudden note, if your application got hit in the market, and if you are unable to serve the request, that will be a failure in your business. Okay, so if Zomato orders were increasing, in the sense his like lot many restaurants were ready to take up this particular and integrate with Zomato, like new people will be coming and using. So if he is unable to serve the new people request, he will be, people will see once or twice. Okay, again they'll not use that application. In IT, anything, okay, even if it is physical, that is fine, you can, if the shop is closed, once again you can go. But if it is in online, people will not rely, or okay. So in that fashion, if that particular application is crossing your limits, you need to take the approval again on a back to back. Manpower will be giving like approval from superiors, and you need to set it up networking, all of the things, which takes 2 or 3 days in order to set it up or to get in sync with all of the old servers. You need to install some of the things, patching will be there, all of the things to get ready. So even in this time, your business can go down. Okay, or if there is a sudden decrease in all of your servers, okay, I mean the number of usage or the people who are using only less limited, then your resource utilization will be more. You are paying a huge thing, you can't buy, you will be getting half of the rate once you buy, okay, all of your servers. So if you try to see, the server cost, Dell something, whatever it might be. It is something 64,000, right? 89,000. So once you buy again, if you resell it to Dell company itself, they will tell initial agreement, yeah, we are good, all of the things. In official Dell site itself, if you order, and once you give back all of the servers, see workstations, all of these things, desktops, laptops, where is the servers, right? Servers and storage. So if you are, yeah, storage or servers, so you'll be getting half the rate. It gets travel from international things. You will be getting from US mostly. Okay. So these kind of servers, again, if you are not using, again, if you try to sell for Dell itself, you will tell initially I'm an organization, I might not, so some XYZ commitments you can give, and even they will not agree. So you will be in loss, I mean to say. So cloud computing will take all of these responsibilities for you. There are some vendors which are working on a rigorous node to release services on a daily node. Okay, AWS is one of the leader in the market as of now. Okay, like second is Azure, and the final is Google. Okay, Google, which is very good for Hadoop clusters. Whenever you are trying, I don't want to go in detail, but it is very good. For some services, some cloud vendors are very good. Depending upon that, you can choose. So AWS is leader, and you have lot many job openings with respect to AWS. So we'll try to understand some at least 30 services or 25 to 30 services back to back. Okay. And we need to learn some of the cost explorer service. Okay. We need to learn some Lambda step functions. So unique functions services that you need to know. If you want to be, if you want to get the job on a easier note, or these kind of things like IAM, auto scaling, load balancer, these were all of the services actually, but these services will be known by everyone. Route 53, okay, SNS, SQS. Okay, these were some of the services where everyone knows. So I want, like, we'll try to understand some of the unique services. Before that, let me, yeah, this is what all about you. You no need to take the approval from the government directly. AWS takes the things for you. You can directly talk with AWS. You can request them. You can, like, business kind of thing. You can enroll and you can get the cheaper rates as well. So all of these things you can do. But if you try to go as an individual, cost will be same. Okay. So like you no need to maintain load balancers. You no need to have manpower. All of these things they are giving it as a rent for you. They do hold some of the data centers directly. Bulk they will try to buy. And whenever you request something, request will be going on, support team will be there, okay, which accepts your request. There a particular person will be there who tries to switch on that server when you request. Okay, 24 by 7 huge team will be there which tries to do this support kind of activity. Okay, so if you try to see request accepting people for support, I mean, there will be some of the people who gives all of this support whenever you request. Okay, or support team will be there whenever you are trying to launch, but if you are unable to launch or whatever, they takes all of the headache. You just need to deploy the things. You just need to, I mean to say, whenever you want to host any application, you need this server, and this server is capable enough in order to host any application. So that server, with respect to CPU, RAM, or ROM, or anything, you will be buying on a remote basis. On a virtual node, you will be using some of the like things which are being released by cloud of AWS, and you will be using to use that resource. So you need to understand two particular concepts, like what is service and what is resource. So what is service? Service is something what cloud vendor is offering. Okay, cloud vendor. So it can be of EC2 or it can be any of the service in 200 plus service. What you want to use. So this application you can deploy. So for example, application you can deploy uh, on EC2 on server or serverless. Serverless as well they are using. So you no need to bother about all of your servers, how many servers were there, what is the architecture, all of this. As of now, people were not in that stage. Okay, but some companies were using, very smart companies. So good developers are needed. You can just write the code and tell your language, I'm using Python, and you can commit. So they will see the rest of the thing. So serverless like API gateway, there are some services, Lambda, okay, and something SNS, SQS, or I don't know. Yeah, okay, no. And still you have Fargate. These were some of the things. Okay, they completely manage all of the things. So serverless services in AWS. If you try to see, these were all of the some of the services where you can have. See, these were EFS, S3. Try to attend this reInvent 2023, guys. These are free with respect to AWS. Okay, whenever they release the service, they launch the program. Okay, to educate everyone so that people can use multiple things, multiple companies can adopt AWS so that they can rises revenue. That's what. The Lambda is one particular thing anyway. Let me show you. You need to be very good in one of the language if you want to use this Lambda or anything. Development skill is needed. You will not do any of your infra provisioning, and then you will try to make artifacts, and then you will not try to deploy in Tomcat. So generally what we do is on rough note, what happens in IT is something you will develop the code, then you will try to, then you will compile in the sense system can understand. This is an executable. Okay, you'll be getting var file, jar file, or ER file, and that you'll try to deploy in your application server. Okay, that can be JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere. Okay, or it can be Tomcat, or it can be anything depending upon your backend technology. Whether if you are using some Node.js application, you will be using one particular thing. If you are trying to use Java, you'll be using some build tool. Okay, and some applications like build tools like Maven and or Gradle you'll be using, and like form.xml file would be reference. Okay, where all of your dependencies will be there and you will try to execute. You don't know as of now, but these were some of the build tools which can make the particular code in an understandable format of your computer, and that you will try to deploy in some directory. As of now, you remember this. In similarly, you will have package.jsn for all of your Node.js, requirement.txt for all of your Python, and this is how you do. But in serverless, what you do is only you try to write the code. You will select the language, you will try to write the code. That's it. Rest of the part will be taken care by AWS, and it tries to have very minimal amount of the things. If you try to say the application, and if you try to say how many users approximately were coming, rest all of the things will be taken care by AWS. Okay. Here you need to, what happens is, you as a DevOps engineer, you need to take the reports from QA team, quality assurance we'll try to call, and load testing reports will be coming. Generally for the higher people, what I'm talking. So if the people is architect or something senior DevOps engineer, QA people and developers will be coming, and they will tell us, please try to provision of M5 XLAR server or something like that. So you can't, why that much server is needed? All of these questions you can ask. If you are if you are, why your application? This is something called capacity planning. We will be calling us. It is very important term, guys. You can note it down. Capacity planning. Okay. Capacity planning you should be doing on a very minimal note. Like these will, we can come in cost level of cost optimization as well. So what happens is, you will be telling the, asking the person or the developer, you'll interact with them, you'll talk them whether it is a capacity intensive application or memory intensive application, why you need that much of servers. Why can't we test with very minimal server in QA environment and let's check it. Even like if and again we'll try to provision a new server in one of the environment, will not move it to live, and we'll give the hits using load runner, or some of the tools will be there that QA people will take care. So what is the maximum TPS that application is supporting, you will be getting an idea. Then you can ask relevant approximately the particular things, and you will provision. But generally people do is, whatever they ask, they try to install, they try to provision and give. That is not the actual way. Who has decent experience, what I'm trying. So these lambda functions can help you out in order to do all of this. I had written some of that, I had written, but I have not saved that. Huh? Yeah. So here for EC2, you will be having you will be like deployment models will be there, where you need to understand basics. Okay. So it can be public, second one is private, and third one is hybrid. Okay. These things you need to understand. And what is the difference between service and resource? What I have told is, service is something which is being given by that cloud vendor. Okay. Like it can be Azure or GCP, EKS. Like it is a service which is responsible, like AWS is taking. You don't need to install any of the cluster manually. We, as of now, you don't know, but I'm making this on an easier note. You can click it and use it directly. Okay. You no need to search. Like let us say, if you want to go from here to Koti, if you take the bus directly, it will take for you. Okay. If you give some money and the stop name, if you say, that is fine. So you no need to search map, you no need to start bike, you no need to keep fuel, all those responsibility. Whatever the turnings, whatever the junctions, wherever I get, that is my headache. But your destination, I'll help you out in order to reach the destination of you. So something, and resource is something what actually you are provision. So resource is something not 200. 200 if services were there, if you try to provision only two services, that becomes resource. So if you try to say VPC is a service, if you provision, that becomes resource. What actually you are provisioning will become turning, returning out to you as a resource. If they will try to say, try to provision the resource of like something M5X large in all of your office. In the sense, you should be doing that resource provisioning via Terraform. Okay, the service will become a resource when you actually provision that. Try to stop that resource, you can say. Okay, which is running like EC2 XLR something a service resource is running. Try to stop it. We are not using. So something a resource is actually what is running in your account that will be coming under resource. Okay, so like yeah, deployment models. A public is nothing but public. Uh, what is public? So public is something AWS, Azure, GCP, DigitalOcean, Alibaba, all these were public cloud vendors. In the sense, you or me or anyone can go and purchase an account, or we can have an account and start using all of the services directly. There is no restriction that you should not use. A private is something where your own data center will be there. No other person will be coming and using all of your resources. Okay, no other, you can say in public, AWS will have 1 TB of hard disk in the same hypervisor. They'll buy 10 TB or 100 TB or 1000 TB of hard disk. There is no guarantee that in 100 TB or 1000 TB, if there is a request from you, like 2 GB or 8 GB or 10 GB is given for you. Rest of the things it will share as per the request of the clients from different companies. Okay, it is not something, that is the reason it is giving cheaper rates. Okay, yeah. So public is something you can go and purchase the resources there. Okay, in the shared resources, it will be a whole of one directly in the data center. You can have 30 GB and you it's like Hemant can have 40 GB and Srikanth can have 10 GB and I can have 5 GB. Okay, so something what I mean to say is it is a kind of shared resources. There is no restriction. So that something only one particular user should be using this service at this particular point, something like that. A private is something which is restricted. Your database will be there, your database, your servers will be there. No other person from outside will be coming and taking all of your resources. And even in your team, a technical person who is capable enough, who is doing the work, only they will be using those servers, who is authorized. And your watchman or a particular clerk who is working in your office, he is not an authorized person to log into that server. Okay, only specific rights will be given to some particular people in some company, and they have their own data centers or storage or many other things of server. That particular thing is called as private. Private is something on rough note you can assume a data center of your own. Okay, a mixture of hybrid and a particular public is nothing but hybrid. So data centers they'll try to keep in on-prem, okay, for security and many of the things, many aspects will be there. Okay, we can't ask them why you are trying to keep database in on-prem, just let us migrate directly to AWS cloud or Azure cloud. No, they'll not agree. Okay, anyway, if you give the suggestions for cheaper rates or anything, especially 99% banking domains will be keeping the data in on-prem itself. Even the cost is something, even if they are getting lost. Okay, we don't know, right? How many people will be taking that data? AWS is telling that it is an authentic. Yeah, we agree, but we don't know, right? How many ideas, how many people have committed their own ideas into AWS? It's not something an AWS idea itself. Like as of now, 200 plus services were there, right? So initially were some to 5 to 10 services were there. Okay, or the small people can come after releasing 50 services. 53 service would can be his own idea. If AWS is liking that service, they'll slightly do some of the modification and they'll try to release as their service. Okay, you don't know Prime is their idea or not. Alexa is their idea or not, you don't. That things will not come out actually. The person will be very small, and there will be two particular things. They'll bribe him, or they indirectly they'll try to change the things and they'll use. that things will never come out. Okay, when something, if the company is very small, even if you try to take patent rights or whatever, okay, that is the reason many of the companies do, for security reasons, all of the clients data, everything will be there. So hybrid is something where like only web servers or what is required, they'll try to keep their web servers and application server, and databases, all of the things will be non-prem, and rest of the things will be storage or whatever it might be. Even storage can be on-prem, some sensible storage. This is deployments. Okay, deployment models over cloud, you can see here itself. You can have deployment models which are okay. Deployment models which are being released by cloud is something IaaS, PaaS. Third one is SaaS. So first one we'll try to call it as infrastructure as a service. Second one we'll try to call it as platform as a service. Third one, SaaS is nothing but software as a service. Right? In everything here in IT, we'll play with respect to like the subscription based model. A SaaS product can be there. It might not be visible to you on a physical note for you. So, for example, Office 365, everyone uses in all of their offices. Majority, 99%, they'll use. That is Microsoft product. So, Office 365, you'll try to buy. You will try to take the thing 10,000 per annum or 5 years, and you'll start using that. It is not a particular product that you can catch or hold in your hand. It is a virtual product where you can pay the money and get the license and use it for 1 year or 2 years. Where okay, this is kind of a SaaS product, and SaaS product is nothing but like you can't customize it. Whatever they give it, you need to use it. Okay, whatever they give, whatever the offerings which were been given, like for example, Gmail, it is a SaaS product. Maps is a SaaS product. Okay, you can't use it. Zomato, which is a SaaS product. All the application Hotstar, you don't know how many servers were running, how many people were working, what is the technology that they are using, Java or Python or anything. You don't know anything, but still you will be able to use that. And you can't modify, you can give the suggestions. How do you feel in the sense ratings you can give for Hotstar, but you can't change them. It's their choice to change as per flexibility of the user. Yeah, this can be modified and they can change it, but it is something where you can just use it. Okay, Office 365 is a SaaS product. Okay, Gmail I have told, Drive, okay, OneNote, all these things, Teams. It is all about SaaS products. Okay, SaaS products directly you can take like on a license basis. It is Xmind, right? I have opened this. So if you try to see, I have written, actually I had written in complete PPT as well. It is a SaaS product. So whenever you want to have some of the things, I need to buy some of the license. I need to buy some of the license. So this deployments which we can do by AWS services via compute. So compute is something where you can go ahead and start using. Okay, so these were elastic beanstalk, serverless containers. You can deploy your application in a container or Linux machine. Forget even if you don't know how to deploy an application in Linux as well. But there is something when you need to keep your code in server or minute of server, small thing apart from server you can understand. And EC2 is something which is a server, which is being given as a service for. Okay, directly you can use. And batch, this is also. And outpost, this is also one of the service which is being released as service. And Amazon Light Sale and Elastic Beanstalk. These were all of the services which you can use in order to deploy your application and use it and give it for all of your customers. And when coming to serverless, you will be having, okay, Amazon SQS, Amazon SNS, Amazon Aurora, Amazon API Gateway, AWS DynamoDB, Lambda, AWS Fargate Step Function. So majorly we'll try to use Lambda, okay, in order to deploy. These were serverless services itself, but you can't host this. These were some of the past kind of things. Okay, PaaS applications. PaaS in the sense platform as a service. Okay, you can customize up to some extent. Here you can customize using writing all of your code via Lambda itself. All the other things like some services you can use in order to customize. So you can say PaaS IaaS versus PaaS versus uh, okay, SaaS. Okay, if you try to see this, see this is on-prem where you'll have hold of all of your things. You need to maintain middleware, you need to maintain OS, you need to maintain virtualization, you need to maintain servers, and you need to maintain storage, networking, OS, middleware, all of these things. So how your things will be working? So IaaS is something, half of the burden will be taken care and rest half you need to maintain. 75% here and 100% will be here. There is no option for you to customize. So something you can understand, an empty space is nothing but an on-prem, and half constructed building is nothing but a person will be there who constructs and he is vexed of all of the things and he is selling this building for low price as he is unable to construct all of these things, seeing all of the many of the people of labor's attitude or he could not able. So that comes under SaaS. So already the building were constructed, even including all of the bedrooms, all of the things, everything, but interior is only left. Okay, interiors and some of the like what extra fitting which can help the building in order to get the show, elevation kind of things which are missing, that comes under pass. So complete building whenever construction is done, when sold out, you can say it as a SaaS product. Because something in SaaS, you'll never get the detail of how many people were working in the background, how many people were there, how many people were developing this, how many servers were running. You'll never know all of this information. Directly, you can use it, you can pay it. That's it. But in SaaS, you can get hold of some things that you can customize all of minor changes. Here you will be having some of the changes. So EC2 comes under IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, infrastructure as a service like virtualization. Up to virtualization, AWS has bulk data. Just a second. Yeah, guys. So this is nothing but here as well in SaaS, only this function. Rest of the things were past platforms. You cannot customize much. Okay, you can use it. On top of it, you can install. For example, Amazon Aurora is something which is kind of MySQL customized one, I guess. MySQL database is there, right? They had installed on top of that and they had customized. I guess Amazon Aurora or DocumentDB or DynamoDB, I don't remember. But yeah, MySQL they had customized and they had released. So what I mean to say is something where try to have some of the services, just note it down of couple of services, 3 examples for each the things. Like you can get me tomorrow of each deployment model. SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So try to note it down all of the things. Not 3 guys, 4. You can have 4. How many? Like what are the maximum number that is possible? Just have that number and let me know. So understand the essence that if you are able to customize the things, that becomes infrastructure as a service. You'll have hold in order to develop that application. Okay, in order to make use of that particular service in all of your angles. That becomes that becomes infrastructure as a service. I mean to say IaaS. Okay, so you can. I'll try to copy this image as well. Um, Still sizes were not at all good. Yes, please give me a couple of minutes. I'll be joining. Sorry, we can have the session actually from tomorrow. At any cost, I'll try to deliver from 4:30 to 8.